Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to sew this trendy BUBU style with collar. So I used a velvet sequin for my collar design, and then you'll be needing 4 years of fabric for this style. So I folded my fabric, that's 4 years of fabric, into two like this. Okay, and then this side is on fold. So I'm going to fold it over like this into four, okay, because you're going to be cutting the front and the back piece together. So you fold your fabric like this. So I will have like four pieces like this, okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take my full length measurement. So I took my full length measurement and I added 2 inches for seam allowance. Added 2 inches for my seam allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is on this end, okay, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch, that is on this area. It will be my center front and my center back. I'll mark 1/2 inch and rule it down, okay. So, but I have a border, okay, for that side. This my Ankara has a border and it's exactly 1/2 inch, so I'm going to use it as a guide for my 1/2 inch. But if yours does not have, or you're using a different fabric other than an abada or African print, you're just going to rule 1/2 inch down to your hem, okay. And then I'm just going to, because I want a slit in front, I'm going to take my slit measurement from my hem up. I measured 18 inches, okay. So you do what you like depending on how long you want your slit to be, but I measured 18 inches for my slit, okay. So I'm going to just, that is where my 1/2 inch, that is the joining, we are going to join the front and the back, okay. So for joining my front, that is where it's going to stop because of my slit. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to come on this side and take my neck measurement. So I'm going to use a neck width of 3.5. So my measurement is starting from the 1/2 inch we measured. That is from the line we marked for our 1/2 inch. I took 3.5 inches for my neck width, okay. So for my back, I'm going to take 1 inch, one 1.5. I actually took 1.5 for my back neckline for the depth, okay, because I'm going to be cutting the back first. So 1.5 inch for the depth and 3.5 inch for the width, and I connected it like so. So what I want to do next is to come on this side and I'll mark my bust, my nipple line of 11 inches, okay. So I marked 11 inches for my nipple line. So I connected it like so. I connected my nipple line like so, okay. Then on my nipple line, I'm going to take 1.5 inches in like this, and I'm going to just rule a straight line down to my hem, okay. So where I was pointing at, that is my sleeve opening, okay. That's the sleeve opening. So I'm just going to rule that line, that 1.5 inch that I measured. I'll just rule it down to my hemline. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take my shoulder slope of 1 inch there, and then I'm going to connect the line to my neck width, okay. Okay, I've connected it. So on that 1.5 inch I measured, I just made a curve. Okay, this is to enable you sew that area easily. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to cut out the markings. So on this side, you know that this side, that is where my sleeve opening is supposed to be, is on fold, it was on fold. So I'm just going to cut it open like I did. Okay, and then I'm going to raise one up. I'm going to raise one piece up and take two away. That is my back. Just take two that is inside, that is the two piece on my back away. I'm going to place my front piece back together like so to make the neckline for my front. Okay, so on that nipple line I measured, I'm going to take 1.5 inch starting from that line we measured for the half inch. Okay, so take 1.5 inch from there and then you mark it. Then I'm going to connect that line to my neck width. That's going to be the neckline for my front. So I'm just going to cut it off. So what I want to do next is, okay, let me bring the camera closer so you see what I want to do. I'm going to on this side that we measured, okay, on that angle, I'm just going to take half inch like so, and I'm going to notch that place. Just cut it open, please. Let it not exceed half inch. Okay, just notch it. Okay, it's going to help you fix your collar or make your collar relax very well. So I'm just going to notch it slightly like this. Okay, and this is what I have. Can you see? Just half inch. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do now is to, this is my front and this is my back. Okay, so I'm going to join the center of my back by that half inch. Okay, so I'm just going to use my border as a guide because it's half inch, then join the center front also by half inch, and then I'm going to join my shoulders, that is place the front and the back together and join my shoulders. So I was done joining the center front, the center back and the shoulders. Okay, and here is, I opened it up like so. Okay, then I'm going to measure my collar, that is my neckline round, starting from one side of the notch that we made to the other side of the notch. Okay, so you're going to measure your neckline round from one notched area to the other notched area. So I'll measure my collar round like so. So I have 28 inches. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 inch to this to make it 29. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a long strip of fabric that is measuring 29 inches. That is 29 inches of length, like I'm measuring. Then the width is going to be 5.5 inches. Okay, measure 29 inches by length and then 5.5 inches by width. So when you measure your collar, whatever you have, you add 1 inch for seam allowance, then you cut out the length that you have. Okay, and then the width is going to be 5.5. Okay, so I was just measuring 5.5 all the way to my length. I'm going to connect the lines, and then I'm going to cut it out. So when you're done cutting out, you should have something like this. So you're going to iron interfacing on it. Okay, fold it over like this equally, and then you're going to hold the 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 opened ends, just hold it by 1/4 inch just to keep it in place. So I've gone ahead to iron my interface on my collar. That's the long strip which is going to serve as my collar, and I'm going to fold it over like this, like I said, equally. Okay, then I'm going to just hold the open area by 1/4 inch. Okay, so here is my neck line. Okay, so I'm going to just, this is my collar, I've already sewed on that area. Okay, so I'm going to see the notch area, see one side, see the other side. So I'm going to pin this collar, okay, from one side of the notch area to the other side of the notch area. Okay, so just pin it down to your neckline like I'm doing. So I was done pinning it. Okay, so I'm just going to sew it with 1/2 inch all the way. So I was done sewing, and here is what I have. So I'm going to turn this over to the wrong side. Turn it over to the wrong side. Okay, and then here's how it's going to look like. You just bring out the rough edges to the wrong side like so. Okay, and then you're going to match the colors with the rough edge there. You're going to match it, and please note that the color is going to overlap. So however you want it to overlap, but it's going to slightly overlap. That is, one color would overlap on another, on the other. So you're just going to place it on top of the other like so. Okay, and then you're going to match it up with that rough edge like this. Just take your time to do this. Okay, just match it up like this. Then you're just going to pin it down. Please make use of your pins. So just take your time to do this. Okay, you don't have to rush, so you don't have to make a mistake and have to redo it. Okay, so just pin it down with your collar like I am doing. Okay, so I'm done pinning it now. Okay, I'm still going to pin the end like this. So when you're done pinning, okay, it's going to look like this. Okay, so from one end of that notch area, okay, to the other end, you're going to sew it by 1/4 inch. Okay, like I'm showing you, sew it by 1/4 inch. Okay, so I was done sewing it, and here is what it looks like. Okay, very neat and nice. So the next thing I'm going to do is to sew the other design that is on the front. Okay, the other design that is just below the collar. So here I'm going to cut out the design. I measured 15 inches by 15 inches, so the length is 15 inches and the width is 15 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to mark from one end like this from the bottom. I marked 6 inches. Then on the other side, I also marked 6 inches. Then on this side too, mark 6 inches in. Okay, so the regular design, like the one on my thumbnail, okay, this is how the shape is once you connect it like so. Okay, and cut this off. Let me just place it like this. Is how it's going to be, but I want my own to look like more like a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to do this same thing on the other side, okay, to make it look like have this triangular form. So I'm going to also mark 6 inches on this side, okay, and then I'm going to connect it. So whichever shape you want, you just go by it. So once I connect it, I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to have this shape. So if you're using a plain material that can be ironed, you can go ahead and fold your ends and iron it. But because I'm using a velvet sequin, I can't iron on this. Okay, so I'm just going to fold and sew while I go. That is, while I'm sewing it on the fabric on my dress, I'm just going to fold and sew on my fabric at once. So here I've ironed an interfacing on it. Okay, so I interfacing on it, and then you're going to place it just a little above the end of your collar. Okay, a little, it should cover the end of your collar just slightly. Okay, so I'm just going to get the midpoint of this. I'm going to notch it. So you're going to match up the midpoint to the your center front. Okay, so match up the midpoint of this to your center front like this. You're going to place it like this, and then you're going to sew it with 1/2 inch. And when you sew it, you're going to flip it over like so, and then you're going to sew on the edges. Okay, so if you already ironed your edges, this will be easier for you. But because, like I said, I'm using a sequin, and I'm not supposed to iron on it, so I'm just going to, while I sew, I'm going to fold. Okay, so I'm done sewing, and this is what I have. Okay, so the next thing is to do the design, put the sequin on my sleeve area. So I'm going to measure the length of my sleeve opening from one end like this to the other end. So I have 23 inches. So I'm going to cut a long strip of 23 inches by length. Okay, I already did that, and the length is 23 inches. Okay, and the width is 4 inches, as you can see, and I ironed fusible interfacing on it. Okay, so I'm going to place it on the back of my sleeve opening. So I'm going to place it on the back like this, and then I'm going to sew it with 1/2 inch all the way to the other side. Okay, then I will turn it over like this. After I must have sewn it with 1/2 inch, I will turn it over like this to the front, and then I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch, fold in 1/2 inch, and then you're going to sew it to your front. Okay, so I've done that. Here's what it looks like. It's more like a turn up sleeve. Okay, so here's what it looks like. So the next I'm going to do is to fold it to the back, and then I'm going to join my size. That's my side seam, just going to join my side. So I'll fold the sleeve like so, match it up. So match it up like so. So you're going to sew it with half of an inch like this, then sew it all the way down to your hem. Okay, so for my slit which is in front, I'm just going to sew my half an inch like this. But if your your rough edges is going to frill, you're going to fold it twice. Okay, and so, and then I'm going to hem the down part, and here is what I have. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye.